All right, let me just start by saying this. Something really different is in the air around the Cowboys right now. I mean it. When was the last time you actually felt this much genuine optimism swirling around the team? Because I honestly can't remember. And I'm not talking about that yearly preseason hype we all joke about. No, this feels real. This feels earned. And it all starts with one of the biggest shockers we've seen in a while, Troy Aikman, out of all people, casually saying Cowboys when asked who's going to win the Super Bowl this year. Did you catch that? Now, let's break down exactly why that Troy Aikman comment matters more than people think. Because if you just heard it in passing, you might have laughed and moved on. But when you dig into the context, when you really understand who Troy Aikman is and what he represents to the Dallas Cowboys, you realize that this wasn't just a throwaway line. This was a moment. Let's rewind a bit. For years now, Aikman has kept his distance from the current Cowboys regime. Sure, he's shown up at a few games, he does interviews when asked, but he's been pretty vocal, sometimes even sharp about the team's failures. He's questioned leadership, he's questioned decisions, and especially, he's questioned the team's commitment to real, lasting success. And let's be real, he wasn't wrong. So when a guy like that, who's worn the star, bled for it, and raised trophies in the 90s, suddenly starts sending out signals of belief, man, that's not something you just ignore. Because Troy isn't Jerry Jones. He doesn't sell dreams. He doesn't have a brand to protect with the fan base. If he's speaking positively, it's because he sees something he actually respects, and maybe, just maybe, something he thinks could finally work. Now, some folks might say, come on, it was just a joke. And yeah, that's fair. On the surface, it might have been. But why the Cowboys? Why not the Chiefs, or the 49ers, or even the Eagles? He could have picked any of those and it wouldn't have made headlines. But he chose Dallas, on purpose. And trust me, guys like Troy Aikman don't do anything related to the Cowboys by accident. So let me throw this one to you. Do you think Troy Aikman's comment was genuine belief in the Cowboys, or was he just stirring the pot a little for attention? Vote in the poll that just popped up or drop your take in the comments below. I want to hear how you read that moment. Because next, we're diving into the second layer of this whole thing, and this one's a bit more emotional. It's not just about what was said, but about what's been unsaid by Aikman for years. And that silence, it tells us even more. Let's talk about that silence, because honestly, it might be even louder than Troy Aikman's joke. For years, Troy has made it clear he's not thrilled with how things have been run in Dallas. He's hinted at it in interviews, dropped little jabs during broadcasts, and made it known that he hasn't exactly felt welcomed back into the inner circle of the franchise. That's not just bitterness, it's disappointment. Disappointment from a guy who knows what winning looks like. You've probably noticed it too. When the Cowboys bring back legends for events or photo ops, Aikman isn't always front and center. He doesn't jump at every chance to be seen at AT&T Stadium. And that kind of distance, it's meaningful, especially coming from someone who was once the face of the franchise. So when he makes a comment, any comment, that even remotely sounds like support or belief in the current Cowboys team, it's a shift, a real one. Because it tells us that maybe, just maybe, Troy's starting to feel something he hasn't felt in a long time. Hope. Maybe he's seeing signs that this team isn't just about hype anymore, that they're actually building something worth believing in again. And that's powerful, not just for us as fans, but for the locker room too. Because whether you're Micah Parsons or Dak Prescott or Mike McCarthy himself, hearing that a Cowboys legend might finally be coming back around, that hits different. It means you're doing something right. So let me ask you, do you think the Cowboys are finally starting to win back the respect of their own legends? Or is this just a temporary wave of optimism? Scroll down and let me know in the comments. I'm reading all of them. Coming up next, we're diving straight into the heartbeat of this moment, Micah Parsons himself. Because his response, it wasn't just playful banter. It was a message to everyone in the building, and I'm going to show you exactly why. Now let's get into Micah Parsons, because this is where things really start to get interesting. When Micah saw Troy Aikman's comment, he didn't just laugh it off or let it fade into the Twitter void. Nope. He leaned in. Micah responded like a player who knew exactly what Troy meant, and wanted to make sure everyone else knew it too. You've probably seen his quote by now. He said, "We're winning him back, slowly but surely. We love you, OG." That might sound lighthearted, but there's so much behind those words. Micah wasn't just being funny, he was being intentional. He knows what it means to win over a legend like Aikman. He knows that respect from the old guard isn't given, it's earned. But here's what's even more powerful. Micah's comment didn't feel like a shot at anyone. It felt like a rallying cry, a message to his teammates, a quiet signal to the front office. It was him, saying, "Hey, look, we're not just playing for wins. We're playing for legacy. We're trying to bring something back that's been missing." And that, my friend, is what separates Micah Parsons. He's not just another great athlete. He's a culture changer, a tone setter. He's got the kind of mindset that turns good teams into great ones, not just with sacks and highlight plays, but with leadership and vision. So here's a question for you. Do you think Micah Parsons is ready to become the face of this franchise, not just on defense, but overall? Cast your vote in the poll right now and tell me in the comments what you think makes him so special. Now stick around, because up next we're zooming out just a little. I want to show you what all of this, Aikman, Micah, the reaction, really says about where this franchise is headed. So where does all of this leave us, really? When you take a step back, Troy Aikman's frustration, Micah Parsons' response, and the whole ripple effect it caused, it paints a bigger picture. A picture of a team that's at a real crossroads. You've got legends like Aikman, who bled for this franchise, now standing on the outside wondering what happened to the fire, the direction, the identity. And then you've got players like Micah Parsons trying to bring that fire back, piece by piece, word by word, play by play. The truth is, the Cowboys can't afford to ignore these moments anymore. These subtle signals, they're loud if you know how to listen. Micah's message was just as much for the front office as it was for Aikman, and for you, me, and every fan who's tired of the hype with no substance to back it up. This is more than football. It's about culture, about accountability, about getting back to what made the Dallas Cowboys the standard in the NFL. And it's not going to happen just because we hope for it. It's going to take bold decisions from the top down, leadership, commitment, vision. So now I'm throwing the ball to you. Do you believe the Cowboys are heading in the right direction with the current front office and coaching staff? Drop your take in the comments. Be honest. Let's talk about what it's really going to take to bring this team back to championship form. And if you felt this video hit home, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're building a real community here of fans who care deeply about this team. Let's keep this conversation going, one video at a time. Now, if you know anything about Troy, Aikman, and I know you do, you know that man does not hand out praise to this organization like candy. He's not one to butter up Jerry or Stephen Jones. He doesn't throw flowers at Dak Prescott. Most of the time, he's brutally honest, almost to a fault. So when he drops the Cowboys' name in that moment, even if it's tongue-in-cheek, you've got to sit up and pay attention. I've watched that clip more times than I'd like to admit. And sure, it could have been a joke. He could have just been playing along. But come on, Aikman's been in front of a camera way too long not to know what he's doing. He knew that little line would go viral. He knew it would hit every Cowboys fan like a jolt of electricity. And it did. Because you and I both know we haven't seen that kind of subtle, public endorsement from him in years. But what really hit me, what really made me start thinking about all this optimism, is how it's not just coming from the fan base. It's not just us being hopeful like we always are. It's coming from everywhere. From the media, from former players, from guys who've been harsh critics in the past. This thing is starting to feel like a wave, like the whole Cowboys universe is locking in together at the same time, and that just doesn't happen often. So I gotta ask you, do you feel it too? Do you sense that shift, that buzz that's starting to spread? Drop a comment right now and let me know if you're buying into this new wave of optimism or if you're still keeping your guard up. And hey, real quick, if you're new here or you've been watching the videos and just haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do me a solid and hit it now. We're pushing for 14,000 subscribers, and with your help, we're gonna blow past that. Also, smash that like button if you're feeling even a flicker of hope for this season. Now let's keep this momentum rolling, because this next part is where it starts to get really interesting.